I say some of our African relatives living in Africa are wicked, I am not joking. I am not. Some of them are wicked. Some of them you are helping them, sending money, taking care of them, building houses for them, or letting them stay in your homes while they don't mean any good thing for you. They hated you. They want the worst to happen to you. So I am here to tell you about a Nigerian man that has been living in the States for all the years, for so many years. Like, he has been here in the US, and I believe he got all his children in the US because they are US citizens. Even the man himself is a United States citizen. So while he was here working so hard, he sent money back in Africa so that they can build a house for him. So while he was working, he was sending money, and we all know that whenever we're sending money for people back in Africa, of course they are going to take some of the money, and of course you're going to send them money, and upkeep them. So imagine he has spent all the money, and after he finished building his house, he let his brother stay there, and he doesn't stop from there. He gave his brother power of attorney. Yes, imagine. So when he finished building his house and he retired, he decided to go back to Nigeria. And when he went back to Nigeria, he went to his house, and then the brother and his wife started to treating him so badly. So his family is back here in the US. So there's this one particular daughter that we always check on her father. Her name is Ivunyaya. So according to her, she said there's this time when she was calling her father, and she just know that something was not right, and this other time she couldn't get to her father, and she got worried, and she then decided to go to Nigeria to do like a welfare check to make sure her father is okay. So she took leave, and then decided to go. When she traveled to Nigeria, she went to her father's compound, and upon entering the compound, her father's brother and his wife, which is her uncle and his wife, they stopped her from coming into the house. And they started shouting at her. They started sending sand, and then they started to abuse her. Like, they started calling her names, names like you are a prostitute, every time a certain name. And they literally told her that they are not going to let her go in the house. And she was like, why you don't want to let me go in the house? And according to them, your dad is not in this house. Okay, even if my dad is not in this house, this is my dad's house, this is my dad's compound. Why are you shouting? What have I done? I'm just here to check on my dad. And then later on, neighbors hear them, the shouting, the back and forth, and they came in and tried to know what was happening. And then the daughter explained to these neighbors, and they were like, oh, this doesn't sound right. She's just here to check on her dad. And they said the dad is not here. And all of a sudden, after a little while, an uncle from another state, and I think they said the dad was in Lagos, so called. And when he called, he was like, oh, your dad is not there, your dad is with me. The phone was on speaker. Your dad is with me, but I'm not at home, I'm going to work. When I get home, I will let you speak with your dad. But that doesn't sound okay with even Naya, the daughter that traveled from the US to Nigeria. So he's like, okay. And all the neighbors that were there, they were like, okay, let's go, we'll come tomorrow because your dad is not here. And she's like, okay, at least let me go and make sure my dad is not here. And they are like, no, you don't have to go. They already say your dad is not here. And she was like, she told the neighbors that, okay, just look at this, we are already here. Why can't we not just go upstairs and check my dad's room to see if my dad is really not here? I say that will not take long. Is it a crime? And then the people like, okay, yes, it's true. Yeah, they say he's not here. If really he's not here, why are they stopping us? And then the daughter forced, with the help of the neighbors, and way upstairs, and the way she met her daddy, God, she met this man lying on the floor on a bare dirty mattress, and he was not kept. Like, when he was describing how her daddy looked, like he was in a very terrible condition. The daddy seems as if he has not taken a bath for years, and he was so sick, he has lost so much weight. Like, no care was taken. They were not taking the dad to the hospital or anything. So she was shocked, and that's the time the neighbors were like, oh, well, something is playing here. Why would this family lie that the dad is not is not here when the dad is here, and look how deplorable, in a deplorable condition. So then the daughter was gonna take the dad that moment, but she didn't plan for it. She didn't come. She wasn't expecting that. And she, according to her, something never sit well with her, but she never knew that this is to the extent that something is wrong. You know, she never knew the extent, you know, of the issue until she go and see what was wrong. And she, according to her, she told her dad, did you remember me? Because the dad couldn't speak. He was so weak. He was not taken care of. It looks as if he was not being fed or nothing, no wash. He was all, you know. And the dad said, yes, I remember you. I know you. And he said, do you know that I love you? And the dad just shook his head because the dad couldn't speak. He was so sick. And I know that you love me. And he said, yes. And then it was there. And then she said she's going to come the next day to come get her dad. You know, and then she went. And the next day when she decided to come, the door was locked. They didn't let her in. They didn't let her in. And before she comes, she went and talked to the village men. You know, there's this way she describes them, the elders in the land, and they came with her. The auntie and the uncle refused them entry into the house, and that's the time they got the police involved. You know, and then the police came, and lo and behold, they have taken this girl's dad out of the house in that deplorable condition. So because there is an intervention of the law and everything, they later find out that they took him to, I think, to another relative or so. And then that's the time now, these people that have been cursing this lady, and according to the lady, this dad of hers is having almost 5,000 every month as his pension and social security, because he has worked so hard in the US. And imagine somebody that he's having that type of money is lying on the floor, unkept, very sick, unfed, you know, and in his own house. These are families that he took care of. These are family that he trusted. He even gave this brother a power of Anthony. You know, that's the thing, my people here in overseas, be careful who you trust. Some of your so-called families are simply jealous of you because you are in overseas, because according to them, they think you're making all the money, and they feel so entitled that even with the help that you are giving them, they still want more. You will even build them skyscraper, they still think you have to give more. You know, they want you to give everything that you have, and even go and borrow or steal and give them. That's the extent of what they want, while they don't like you, while they are plotting your downfall. So with the help of the police, they took the man. So the time the daughter didn't find the dad at home, it was close to our time, because I think she just took 3 weeks, and they thought that, you know, no matter what, she will not stay. So the daughter called the office here in the US and said, can you give me additional time? This is what I met my daddy and this. And to the grace of God, the daughter, they gave her another 1 month, which is 30 days. That was so awesome. And during that process, he got his dad to the hospital, you know, and then they were charged, the family, for neglect and everything. And that's the time the uncle started begging the auntie, how can we settle this the family way? Can we settle this the family way? So guys, this is a lesson, this is a wake-up call for those of you that are killing yourself for people in Africa. I am telling you, I have done it. If you watch my last video, I only stopped doing it recently because I really don't have to give. I will take my last and give people in Africa, and while I will be back, you know, my bills will be backlogged, or I will call and set up payment plan. My bills, the money that I should take to pay my bills, I will send it to Africa. And I don't know what these people do or what they normally do. They will give you stories. They will give you stories that will make you take your last. I'm telling you, they have these stories. It's so pathetic. And if you have a lot of sympathy and empathy, you will find yourself giving them all your money. You will find yourself taking care of them. But what you should always remember, if you were not here, these people will survive. I'm telling you, the stories that always make me give my last stories of I'm sick, I need operation. I remember one time I was not planning it, guys, and I'm, you know, like I say, you don't do good to say it, but I'm just giving you scenario of how much I have gone. I was not planning it, and I had to send in a month. Imagine, I'm not doing overtime, not even in a month, in 2 weeks I had to send $1,000. You know, you will plan, okay, to send 200, you plan to send 300, and these are not even families, they are friends, because they told me it's a medical condition. And that's just in the 2 weeks, and after another 3 weeks I had to send another 500. So in the space of 6 weeks I had to send 1,500 to people that are not even my relatives. But as I stated in the previous video, in Africa, everybody, our neighbors, we see ourselves like families, so we don't really need to be like related by blood, or, you know, as long as we know each other, or we are from the same community, we see ourselves as families. And it's so easy and it's so common for Africa to beg. Yeah, that's like a cultural thing, it's a way of life. You just go and beg somebody, I want this and this and that, you know. So that's when I'm telling you that's just few of the stories, but that one really hits me very, very hard, because I had to, I that time I don't only have to make payment plan, I had some late payments to do with that money that I sent at that time. So, and I'm not talking about those times when I really have enough. No, I'm not going to talk about that, where I will send, I will just strain, but I will be able to pay my bills, you know. And I'm not talking about those times that I don't have backlog, but I will just make a payment plan, like when it comes to electricity. For those of us that are in the United States, you know that you can make a payment plan to pay your electric bills, you know. I'm not talking about those. This I'm talking about had to be backlog, you know. And you know how it is. That will affect your credit, that will affect, and then have to set up payment plan. I have to do both. So I know how it is. I felt bad, but thank God that that man had a vibrant daughter, and I learned that that lady is very prayerful, which is common with Nigerians and Africans who pray a lot. So throughout all the journey, she has been seeking God, she has been praying, and God directs her. And by the special grace of God, as I'm making this video now, the dad is getting stable, and the dad is coming back to the US. So it's just a wake-up call for us Africans. I felt bad. I pray that justice will be served, and I pray that the dad will get the treatment and the healing that he needs. So guys, I'm gonna leave you now. Please don't forget to like my video, to share, and to hit the notification button, so whenever I come live, you'll be notified. Thank you.